Post, and this is the Adam Post Show. Perfect timing. We've got me, Adam Post, 30-year veteran of publishing comics, making stories, and making dreams and comics come true. And we've also got the amazing, the suspicious, the interesting Red Gaze. Red Gaze, how you doing?
Pretty good. I don't know how I feel about that suspicious remark, but
suspicious, nutritious, judicious.
I would invite everyone
Red
to get on
Gaze.
board with the Gaze agenda and join the Gaze community.
We will all join the Red Gaze community, and we will follow your agenda. We don't know where it is, but we don't care as long as we follow you. You will bring us closer to the Red Gaze-alicious God.
Correct.
We also have with us the famous, exciting Mandy Summers.
Hi.
Hey, Mandy, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. And you, of course, are publishing WART The Wizard.
Yes.
Which has already met and exceeded its goal fantastically.
Yes, it has. Isn't that awesome?
It is. It's really, really awesome. And every time you go on a show, it just kind of lightens it up. Yep. And we were on our first long show last night. That was really cool on your channel.
Yes, it was. That was awesome.
Yeah. That was really, really cool. And Door Kickers got funded.
Yes.
Which was awesome. And I did pretty good, too, with College of the Dead. So that was a hell of a lot of fun. But
awesome.
tonight we just want to have some fun and go over a couple of articles and see what you guys think of them. And I've been kind of working on this. I've been like, you know what? We got to get streaming. We got to work together. We got to have some fun. We were going to have Vinnie T, but Vinnie T is not available. He just did War Campaign just before us. So there's just so much one little Vinnie can possibly do at once. So we will continue on without our beloved Vinnie. And the first article I wanted to show you guys, and I wanted to see what you thought of this. I'm going to share my screen over here, which, that's one of my favorite things to do is screen sharing. So I came across this in Zero Hedge. I don't know if you guys saw this, but women are allowed to swim topless in Barcelona after city says it would be sexist not to. How do you feel about sexism, Red Gaze?
Oh, I'm into it, man. I'm totally down.
It's kind of like sexyism, right?
Yeah, I would say so. See, the problem here is these people will say that it's sexist not to. However, if you put your red gaze on those nipples, it's sexist again. So it's a problem. It's just a problem waiting to happen, and they invite problems.
But it's funny because, like, as the article says, in a rare victory for feminists and boot fans alike, the city of Barcelona, Spain, has ruled that women can swim topless in any of its municipal indoor or outdoor pools. So this is all ages over their gender dress laws, ruling that it's sex discrimination to force women to cover themselves up. Mandy, I just don't know how you would feel about this. How do you feel about this situation?
There's a place for everything. I'm sure in Barcelona they probably have nude beaches like dedicated to, that. Yeah, like what Red said, if they do it and any guy looks at them, they're just going to get pissed off about it. So they're just kind of looking to be pissed, I guess.
It's like these laws. Yeah, that's a good point. These laws are just getting weird where it's like, all right, you want to be able to do whatever you want to do and do it wherever you want to do it. And so in all municipal indoor or outdoor pools, so like every city, every state organized pool. And the thing of it is like some of these people you'd want to see topless, some of these people you would not want to see topless. But then also it's like it's all ages and stuff, like 80 years old and 8 years old. It's just weird.
Yeah, I went to a water park not like last summer, and I was over in the little kiddie area with my kids, and there was a girl over there who had on no bathing suit and just like a white beater with no top under it, and she was soaking wet. And I looked over there and thought, I don't know if the kiddie area of the park is where she needs to be hanging out, but that's where she chose to.
How old was she?
Oh God. 20s, mid-20s maybe. Old enough to I guess have a kid and be over in the kiddie area, but
What he's really asking is how perky was it?
yeah, I mean they weren't bad. They were. She had a good set, but I mean it was
weird for the kids. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it was over in like there's 4 and 5-year-olds running around, looking up like so yeah, I don't know.
Says here, protesters claimed one woman was told to cover up and wear both parts of her bikini, but said that this is against the law, and the city leaders have agreed. The authority has ruled that the pools of Barcelona must not discriminate if a woman wants to swim topless because men do the same. They cannot differentiate between bikini bottoms and swimming trunks. What? So
that's good because I just picked up a pair of bikinis.
So then they can all wear bottoms, but they can't insist that women wear tops because then all genders are wearing the same thing. It's a little bit confusing, but I guess that's the future, at least the future of Spain.
Yeah.
I love how beautiful all the women are in their pictures.
Yeah, well, that's
every single one you go to. It's just.
Well, here's a cartoon one.
Yeah,
well, that's Beavis and
Butthead.
Butthead. Yeah, that's Beavis and Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead. We've been dealing with this for decades.
Hey guys, let's say hi to the chat real quick. We got Nufa Legion, howdy buddy. Zayd Comics is in the house. Master.
Hey, cool. I'm gonna make Echo happen. All right, then, yeah. I got the. Yep. Oh, see, there's my Echo.
Love
Echo
that
every
Echo.
time. Guaranteed Echo. No extra for the Echo. Sorry, Red. You're saying hi to a few of our buddies.
That's all right. Yeah. Just finishing up with Kermit the Log, and Mr. Peter Gilmore is finally awake and in the chat.
Peter Gilmore. We love Peter Gilmore.
Welcome, folks.
Awesome.
We
love all you guys.
Women.
So no wonder people from Sharia countries are seeking asylum in Europe. I mean, this is an important story. I'm glad we had a chance to discuss it, and I really wanted to discuss it with you two guys because we've become so close and intimate. Not this intimate, but relatively. Not yet, exactly, Red. Anything's possible in the future. Unrelated, but still interesting to me. Well, it's maybe a little related.
How are you going to go from boobs to that?
This one isn't brand new, but it is female focused as well. We have to care about women. Women are important. They do stuff for us. So Disney turns down Sylvester Stallone's series because it's not female focused. And he kind of, I don't know. I mean, he could be trans if he wanted to be. And I don't know if they gave him that as an option.
But yeah, all he has to do is say yes.
He looks, I mean, he's taking really, really good care of himself, and he's taking HGH, that human growth hormone. And look, I mean, well, I mean, that's unnecessary, but you should give it a shot. Give it a shot. So the deal with this is that Sylvester Stallone and Dolph Lundgren had a series titled The International. And Lundgren was going to star in it, and Stallone was going to executive produce and possibly direct it. Oh my God, is that another echo? Yes. All right, good. Anyway, so they've been pitching it around because they wanted to do this action series. Obviously, Dolph Lundgren is like an action star from way back. He's got a following. Stallone knows how to make action movies, but like male action movies or male action shows, it's not the thing it used to be. People are not interested because they're not women. I mean, maybe if they changed them to, or if they did like a Tootsie kind of thing, where they're like, well, actually, that is kind of funny. If they did it and they're like, well, let's do it really real and be like, we've got to dress Dolph Lundgren up as a woman to be able to get Disney to like even consider the movie. But then like they get the part and they're like, oh, we've got to pretend. And then, like bosom buddies. That's a really old TV show. But that's where Tom Hanks got his start. And whoever else that was in that show. Did you ever see that show, Red?
Which show with Tom Hanks?
Oh, wow. This is an old show. It's called Bosom Buddies.
Oh, that sounds familiar, but I don't.
You ever hear of it, Mandy?
Is that the one where they both dress up as women?
That's exactly the one where they both dressed up as women because they needed to rent a place, and that building like only accepted women, and they had it like at a really discounted rate, and it was like renting in the city was expensive, so they would have to. They lived as women when they were in that building, and that's how Tom Hanks got his start.
Well, I gotta say, Bosom Buddies is a pretty clever title for that.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good show, actually.
I just remember it, it's because like when that show was on, it was the 80s. And in the 80s, you just didn't have like 500 different things to watch.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, well, something's on TV and there's only one thing that might be kind of entertaining or kind of good. So you just kind of watch it. I mean, they didn't even have VCRs then, really. I mean, well, it's kind of a little bit. Maybe towards the later 80s or something. Well, so they had video stores. I don't know. We have to ask other people for a detailed timeline.
I don't ever remember being alive and there not being a VCR.
You know what?
if that helps anything, I don't remember ever not having one.
Okay. It helps a little bit. It does a little bit. But what it really makes me think about is that we need to get in touch with the Magicop guys immediately and make sure that they do have VCRs in the Magicop universe.
Yes.
I'm sure they've thought of that.
I don't know. They're launching tomorrow. It's really important, Red. We got to get that taken care of. All right, we'll work on that too. So what else is with this ridiculous? So yeah, I mean their agenda with Marvel and Pixar and Star Wars. I hadn't heard of them doing anything wacky with Pixar. Star Wars and Marvel, of course.
Yeah. Marvel's the latecomer to the wackiness.
What are they doing with Pixar? They're just kind of creating female versions of some of the male characters, but they're leaving the male characters in, sort of, right? Have you heard anything about that, guys?
I haven't seen much with Pixar yet. I mean, I haven't seen anything that made me go, "Oh, you sons of bitches!" But
I would think we would.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't know. With Pixar, the only thing I heard that they did was there was like a casting couch scene or something, which is like, all right, yeah, okay. You want to cut that out? It's okay. You can cut that out, and really, like, there's no big complaints there. There was this really cute. I think it was Pixar that made this. It was like, no, it wasn't Pixar I'm talking about. But actually, no, it was similar to Toy Story before there was Toy Story. It was called The Brave Little Toaster.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was a really fun series. But there is a scene that's really disturbing in it where the cars are still alive or whatever. And the cars are like in a junkyard. And they're sending the cars like in to be crushed, and they're like sad and stuff like that. And you don't really think about it, but now that we've seen so many characters like that, it's you can kind of like very easily identify, objects that are not living objects as living beings, and it's sort of like immediately like just I don't know. Somehow it's become creepy. I don't think they cut it out though, and they didn't change their gender, so it's pretty normal. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. You have to imagine all this is going to really fall apart. The whole let's just change up everybody's gender and
Yeah, well, I mean, it is already.
It is
Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars is going straight to shit. They have a backup plan to change Galaxy's Edge at the Disney parks into Aladdin Land because it's doing that poorly.
Yeah, I had heard a little bit about that. Well, hopefully they'll turn it around. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. All right. So this is what else is going down in the chat? I don't want to get into echo mode again. Red, can you peek in there?
Well, not too much. We've kind of halted a little bit.
Okay. No problem.
I'll speak up and read some of these off here. Primal Rage says, hi, guys. How's it going?
Hey.
Hi.
Peter Gilmore says, it's ma'am.
Yeah. That's exactly what that looks like.
Kermit the Log, Rambo lost his D in the war.
Peter, don't waste any of your time drawing an It's Ma'am version of Sylvester Stallone. Don't. But if your time was not worth money, which it is, then you really should do that.
Well, Peter's drawing right now.
Hey, Mambo.
Mambo, sure.
Peter, that one you could probably sell.
Kermit the Log says he doesn't watch the gays stuff. All right, buddy. You better start watching.
Join the gays community. That's where you need to be.
And Peter Gilmore does confirm that VCRs were around in the 80s.
Oh, cool. I got a Kermit the Log subscriber. Yeah, they were. They definitely. That's very cool. Thank you for the confirmation. Does that look like Lobo to you?
Yes.
So Krypton and Lobo canceled at Sci-Fi. Okay. All right. The problem with Sci-Fi is they don't have a budget to do stuff.
You don't say.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Except for a six-headed mega shark, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that wasn't done just for that, like, venue primarily. So it's like when people like, I don't know if you remember the show that Luke Perry was in on, I think it was on Sci-Fi. What the heck was it? I can't recall. It was an apocalypse show.
Actual series?
Yeah. It was an apocalypse show, and it was based on a comic. I'm actually supposed to know what the name of it is. I really should know.
I don't remember having seen Luke Perry in a series.
Yeah.
Except for 90210, of course.
Yeah, no, he was in a sci-fi apocalypse show that was based on a comic, and it was, I think it was either the late 90s or early 2000s. But it's like, and it actually was a good show. But Sci-Fi, like, how are they going to possibly make shows with a really limited budget and be competitive? And, like, how is that supposed to even happen?
Listen, everything went to hell when they changed to the Ys.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They did. I just now noticed.
Yeah, that was when it was a few years ago, right?
Yeah, that was a good chunk of time ago.
Oh my gosh!
And what name of it? Because people still call it Sci-Fi, right?
I call it Sci-Fi now.
Sci-Fi.
Yeah, it's supposed to be called Sci-Fi, but that's pretty much I don't know. You can log. That's pretty much when everything went to hell. Like they had some crappy movies before that, but they still showed some cool stuff. Like back.
That's Lobo.
Yeah.
That's Lobo.
Right.
That's not. I mean, look.
I'm pretty sure I saw that guy at the bar the other night.
Yeah, that's like.
Well, now you know definitely. Look at this guy's body.
Oh hell.
Rob Willis, who does Shinobi Sasquatch, has a better body than Lobo.
Adam, you're a little obsessed with Rob Willis.
Well, he's the only one of us that's like, well, I want to show you what I look like with my shirt off because I'm working out. Like, wow, he's in great shape. You know, he's taking care of himself. But
I do now.
How is that? How is he like? That is not a good translation of Lobo.
I don't think this guy's in bad shape. You know, he's just.
You don't. No, wait. Look at his stomach.
He's got a little bit of a bad gut there, but.
Mandy.
Yes.
Not judgmental, and I'm sure you care about like how he is on the inside and stuff. But,
of course.
But realistically, he's in good shape.
No. But it does look like they tried to paint something on the sides there. They just forgot to carry through to the middle, because that doesn't look right. He shouldn't have that on the sides and then that in the middle. Something's wrong.
Yeah,
something's wrong.
Something is wrong.
Has he always had a skull cup
on his wiener? Yeah,
has he always worn that?
Very war campaign.
I know I do.
Yeah, no, we all should. No, like that's on it. Look, he's got it on a belt buckle the way Simon Bisley drew him.
Oh, well, Kermit's got it figured out. He said it's because he smokes Mentos.
Thank you,
okay.
What? How do you, like, just have a, I don't know. Like, so Lobo was like the Wolverine of DC Comics. And so he was cool and people liked him. And Simon Bisley spent a good amount of time, like, focusing on him and just made him great. Honestly, I don't know if that's Bisley or who the hell drew that. I'll tell you straight up. But I know that's Bisley. There's no question about it. He invested like a lot of time and energy into making Lobo just unique and cool. And you can see like he is not a ripoff of Wolverine, but he has that like berserker vibe about him. And like, all right, so that's just cool. So people would buy that, and for years, people would just keep buying that. But yeah, they could have got a bodybuilder. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger, and there's only one Arnold Schwarzenegger, but there's a lot of bodybuilders running around. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know what this guy's voice is like either. I haven't heard any of it. So
that could make it so much worse.
It could.
Hey fellas, we got to go see what's going on over there. We're going to stop at a McDonald's on the way.
I can't help but get a. It seems like you're body shaming this poor fellow.
Well, because he's a fucking character. You're supposed to look a certain way when you look. He's supposed to portray this guy. But yeah, who would have cast when they cast this guy? Well, they're doing readings and stuff like that. Maybe his voice is phenomenal. Maybe he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go over there and do this. Like, fuck, that's Lobo. Like, all right, fine. But when you cast this guy, I don't know. I don't know. How do you? I don't know. I don't know how.
Maybe they didn't have him take his shirt off for the casting.
Maybe they didn't. Like, trust me. I'm like, he was eating during the reading, and be like, trust me. I'm totally gonna be like,
with a bag of Doritos.
Yeah.
A
bag of Doritos.
He's kind of like a poor man's Jason Momoa, isn't he?
Unless this is really related to these other two stories that we're dealing with. Maybe they are. Maybe this is like, no, we can't have a masculine man. We've got to have. I mean, he looks okay in that picture, sort of. But when you see like what's going on, in his midsection of like, you don't have a ripped stomach.
I don't know. Even the makeup looks like something I could come up with on Halloween. Even the makeup isn't that great. He just kind of looks like a piss poor Halloween costume.
Why is the skull that's supposed to be on his belt?
I don't know. It's like a skull athletic cup. Maybe he plans.
Yeah, how is it affixed there?
I don't know, but you won't kick him in the balls.
Nobody needs a little athletic support, all right? Give the man a break.
How does he go to the bathroom like that? He's going to take off his skull?
It comes right out the mouth.
It comes out the mouth.
It doesn't look anything like that.
No, not even close.
I mean, the hair, like, actually, if you look at see, here's like dreadlocky kind of long hair. I think the hair is not a problem. It'd be nice that they could have done, like, why not just pick some, like, when you're young, when people are like, young, like 22 years old or something, they can have a crazy, like, cool, full head of hair. He doesn't really have that.
Yeah, this kind of looks like the Crow if, like, he started drinking and became homeless.
I was so thinking that. I thought that when I first saw him, is he looks like a drugged out the Crow. So yeah, wow.
But it looks like he has good teeth, which you think that Lobo wouldn't.
That's a good point.
I don't really mind that. I don't. But actually, that is actually quite easy for them to fix with makeup. Like, absurdly easy that they could have just dealt with that aesthetic. He's like, I've got a brush, I've got a floss. I will not work out. I will definitely. When I first saw this, I was kind of like, oh, it's too bad they tried Lobo and it didn't work, whatever. And then I saw this, and I'm like, how? That was never going to work.
No,
they would have run this when they had the Simon Bisley comics out, and Lobo was at its height, and they would have run this. It'd have been like, well, why would you do that? This guy's probably in better shape than Lobo. Yeah, you're right. This is like body shaming, but just still.
Who are these guys over here? Do we have any idea?
Crisis on Infinite Earth?
Yeah, who are those two guys hanging out behind them?
I don't know. I never saw a Lobo show. I didn't see Krypton. Krypton was like the what? All right, let's just look at the rest of this picture. There ain't no filter to make this look good. That guy. I don't know. I can't follow this. Could he have just worked? Like, all right, compare that to this is a really good comparison. Compare that to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. He worked out for that role.
Yeah, he did.
He looked like Wolverine.
It's kind of funny though, because if you go back and watch like the first X-Men movie, like he's not really that jacked. He's just kind of like a dude. Yeah. And as it goes, like he really gets ripped.
He gets into it. Yeah, I thought the Wolverine movies were pretty well done. What did you think of like the when they had Sabretooth, his brother?
Are you going to Origins? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Deadpool at the end of that. I don't know. As a whole, like I pretty much up until the end, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, that Deadpool just turned my stomach. Maybe piss blood for a week. Actually,
it's amazing because they actually have some really well told stories with very good art direction. Like they have the Wolverine miniseries written by Chris Claremont with art by Frank Miller. That's how that happened, right? The 4-issue Wolverine miniseries. Do you remember that? It was before Wolverine had an ongoing series. This was back in the 1980s, so perhaps slightly before time.
That was before I started collecting Wolverine. I started collecting issue 1.
You could probably find them, reprints are easily online or something like that. They were really good. Wolverine fought a bear. And the thing of it was...
we all done that, right?
What's that?
We all fought a bear in our time, right?
I think he did. I think he did, but the thing of it is you don't just cut all right, so Wolverine fights a bear. So it's all right, why don't we just bring in one scene where Wolverine's fighting a bear? It's well, the bear was a metaphor also for the rest of the story. It's all been thought about. Chuck Dixon writes so well. There's so many guys who have written so much good stuff and really thought carefully about what they were doing, but also, like we do with Comicsgate, they take their work to other people. Jim Salicrup was a great editor and worked with Todd McFarlane. He worked with a lot of the best. And of course, Jim Shooter was there, and he was great. But Tom DeFalco, Carl Potts. There's a whole bunch of really cool people at Marvel and also at DC that really knew what they were doing. And then, you would have these young bucks like Frank Miller and some of these other guys coming in, and they'd be passionate, working hard, fresh ideas, different backgrounds too, and different things that they were interested in, and they'd be able to bring that to the editorial staff, and then the editorial staff could just make sure that everything clicked and did make sense and was good. Jim Salicrup was telling me a story about him. If I'm remembering it correctly, it was him and Jim Shooter talking about Phoenix, who was then Dark Phoenix, and she had done some really bad stuff. Dark Phoenix, really bad, and I think it was Shooter who was just okay, she's got to die, and not for sales gimmick or whatever, but because it made sense in the story that when you do stuff that's quite that bad, the character cannot live, just can't. They got to go. So things were done like that for story, I guess is my point. But yeah, there's so much good stuff. There are probably some amazing Lobo comics with some really good stories. And then what they'd have to do is they'd have to look at it and be all right, these are really good stories that we'd love to tell. They inspired people. They got people excited. So let's figure out what the budget's going to be to try to execute this. Does it work for TV? Does it work for film? Instead of this, where it looks like he's crying, his Halloween costume is falling apart. He doesn't know where he is. He got lost in the woods, and he doesn't even know these two guys are behind him.
And he doesn't know what to do with the belt.
Does not know what to do with his
Does not know what to do with his belt at all. Because that can't be how it looks in the book. It cannot have a skull on his wiener area. There's no way that is what it looks like.
And what's interesting is I was looking at his vest too, and I'm like, why is his vest so short? Is he dancing at a nightclub somewhere at night? And doing this and then getting dropped off in the woods later. He's got some stuff going on. But I guess the jacket looks a little short here too. But it might appear short because his back is so freaking enormous with muscle, as opposed to this where it's like, well, it's his jacket's short. We're not quite sure why, but it's short in the movie because his back has a hump on it because there's so much freaking muscle. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. Anything hopping in the chat?
Yeah, talking about bears. Peter Gilmore says he's not talking about that kind of bear.
Not that kind of bear. Okay.
That
Peter's up on stuff. This Crisis on Infinite Earth thing. I mean, I picked up the comics. It was DC Comics' version of Secret Wars with their multiple universes, and it's just like, it's just so complicated. Just also freaking complicated. Just tell the freaking stories. And if they have
is the problem. Needlessly complicated.
Needlessly complicated. But you know what? People used to be able to follow it, and they'd be kind of interested, and it'd be like, all right, well, you know, they need to keep buying the comics to follow it, and they would have continuity, and like, all right, so you saw it happen, something happened a year ago, and there's a reference to it, and, you know, Stan Lee used to have those editor notes in the early Marvel comics, look at this issue number whatever. You know, now it would just be like completely hopeless to try to match these things up, I guess. But all right, so let's hope Lobo gets redone in a thoughtful way without this guy, unless he goes and starts working out with a trainer.
Yes, and did y'all notice, because I was just looking, not only does he have a skull on his wiener,
yeah,
the mouth of the skull is like, it's ready. Look at it.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
it's just, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to be screenshotted making the face, but yeah.
It's
but
going on work campaign.
But yeah, it's exactly. But yeah,
it's going to move Gat Hanzo.
That mouth right there is ready, and I think that is
inappropriate. And you know
it's so inappropriate.
It's now there's no skull on this one. There's no mouth that's open here.
No.
Where did they come up?
Not ready.
Maybe this was somebody's inside joke, and they're just like, I can't believe no one's actually paying attention to this.
Like, haha, we put the skull in his junk.
Yeah. Oh, we made the skulls. Well, you know what? Maybe it's us. Maybe the mouth. There is not a gaping open mouth.
No, that's a gaping open mouth.
Yeah, for sure.
There is no doubt that is what that is.
I don't want to feel bad, but
and its eyes are squinted. Oh my gosh, the eye holes aren't even the right size. They're all squinted.
That skull is ready to accept.
That skull is beyond ready.
Something is really wrong with this.
That skull's been waiting all day.
I didn't know this was so disturbing. But it is. It really is. All right. Well, I want to talk about your WART the Wizard campaign.
All right.
Yeah, it's time that we talked about it.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about what WART the Wizard, that book is, and how you came up with the idea to start it. But just tell us what it is first.
Okay. So it is a all ages comic book that was written for everybody, but with parents in mind. So, you know, the parents can actually enjoy reading it. Your kids are going to love it. And I created it by not reading, but making up stories for my daughter.
Mm.
So, yeah, just every night I would tell her, you know, 20 minutes or so of stories about WART that I made up off the top of my head. And, yeah, after about 10 years of doing this almost, I've combined it into a book.
You know what? We all find that really charming. I don't know who I don't know who of us tells you that, but I did know that this was stories that you made up for your daughter that you had no intention of turning into a book or a comic or a story or anything other than just that you know, told this to your daughter.
Right.
That aspect of it is really pretty cool. It's very personal. And these are those stories.
That is exactly what they are. I have a notebook that I was at a certain point, it kind of got out of hand even when I was, telling her the story. So I would have to start writing like names and like, okay, this is what it's just shorthanded, just WART did this and this, just so I could keep it.
You could remember it.
I could remember it and keep it together, so I didn't start retelling things.
Yeah, because these smarty pants kids will be like, "Wait a minute, that's not what you said."
Yes, yeah, that's exactly. So when I decided to turn it into a book, I just kind of pulled out that notebook, and me and my daughter went through it and kind of picked some of her favorite stuff, some of my favorite stuff, and yeah. So here we are.
Very cool. How did you discover Comicsgate again?
Actually, I bought the new Rainbow Bright comic book.
Ah.
And I have all of them. I kept getting them. I didn't particularly like them, but it was Rainbow Bright, so I kept buying them. Yeah. Well, after the 5th issue, I was kind of, she never turned into Rainbow Bright. She was Rainbow Bright for one page in that book, in 5 books. One page was she actually Rainbow Bright. So I kept waiting and waiting, and I got to the 5th book, and then I went to go buy the 6th, and it was like canceled. So I was like, well, that's crappy. So I started like researching, like, YouTubing and Googling, trying to find out what the hell, why'd they cancel it? And I ended up running into all the stuff about Zach and the Mark Waid stuff, and then I ran into Comicsgate, because it all kind of, once you get on Twitter.
Did you find Rainbow Brute?
Actually, that was after the fact, because I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
You must be like, wow, this is like magic.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. So,
That's cool.
Yeah, because I just happened to one day, like, kind of Google it, and it's just like a rabbit hole, one thing to the next, until here I am today.
What do you like to recommend the most to people? They're like, you know what? See, there's 3 ways to go. The one way to go is like, all right, we love Mandy. Let's just get the most expensive thing. How do we give Mandy the most money possible? And that $400 original Wizard guy cover by Peter, right?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Peter is good. That's gone. So the next best way to give you as much money as possible is the Ultimate Adventure, right?
Correct.
All right. What do they put in the Ultimate Adventure? Let's take a look. So 3 physical signed copies of Wart the Wizard.
Yes.
1 of each cover. Oh, wow. Okay. Cool. And 1 physical signed sketch kiss card, which is up there, right over there. Okay, sketch card. Gotcha. And it's limited to 50, and you got 27 sold. Which is pretty damn good, so people really like this. Yes. And the covers are by Peter Gilmore, Simon Bolfier, who's a big Comicsgate dude, and King, that is
Big
Joe
King.
Big King. Okay, cool. And then you also have this other thing which people can get separately, and I know you were saying you're not going to charge them double shipping if they add it in.
Yes, correct.
They give this a shot. Nan the Necromancer.
Yes, and I highly recommend you get this if you are interested in Wart the Wizard, because it fits so perfectly with Wart. I mean, John did amazing with staying in what I have created, my realm. So yeah, it is.
I really
awesome.
I like his thinking. It's interesting that you have Peter doing a different style, and Peter's very cool. He's got his own unique look, but it still fits Wart well. And this Nan the Necromancer is great. I'm thinking of like Nightmare on Elm Street, like a Tim Burton kind of style from John Hazel. I think we're going to see a lot of good things from John Hazel in the future.
Absolutely.
So what people should be getting is they should get the Ultimate Adventure. They should get Nan the Necromancer as well. And there will be, if there's additional shipping, if it works out to be additional shipping, Mandy's not going to let you pay shipping twice. She will refund you whatever the extra shipping is, right?
Correct.
Right. Okay. So you're really in for like $75 plus shipping, which would be very, very cool. All right. Let's just do my College of the Dead, which I'm super excited about. College of the Dead has gone really well. College of the Dead, as far as I'm concerned, we were funded when we hit $1,000. That was more than enough. It's a flexible goal. So I almost want the days to run out just so we could be done and we could just start shipping the books right away. we're scheduled to ship October. We might even ship sooner in September. So it's kind of looking like we will. I'm really psyched about that. And we did great last night on your show, Mandy. So I had to have you on my show tonight. College of the Dead, what that's about is it's a zombie apocalypse story set on a college campus. Teachers and students fight for their lives as the dead take over the campus and start to eat everyone in sight. It's 140 pages. I spent a couple of years working on this, and it's just a beautiful book. It came out perfectly exactly the way I wanted it. I just posted recently the cover art for College of the Dead book 2. That book is almost completely done too, the interiors. And we haven't started on 3 yet, but once we get 1 out and 2 in the works on Indiegogo, we'll get started on 3 probably. And then we have on this listing on Indiegogo the interior pages for a good 12 or so sequential pages, so you get to kind of see how the story goes. It's really interesting. I really, really like how this came together. I'm very, very happy with it.
It looks really, really good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I've gotten some really good feedback on the art. You know, I put it together and I worked with everybody that did this. I didn't write it and I didn't draw it. I put it together and it was my idea. But I love taking credit for everybody else's work. Why not? We also have a nice section on the staff and the students, so you kind of know who the main characters are. And it talks about their background and who they are and how they are. And it's funny because there was somebody on Twitter that was saying, like, I'd play the hell out of this in a game. And I was like, aha, like, well, what kind of game? A board game or a video game? He's like, well, I was thinking a board game. And I was like, all right, well, who would you play? And he's like, I'd play this Marie Cano. She's cool. And she's a former, having completed her first overseas tours Marine. Yeah, she's a Marine. There's no such thing as a former Marine. I was told that by a Marine friend of mine years ago. Once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine, even if you're not active duty. So that's just a cool thing to know. So much respect for the people that serve and protect us. My campaign has 3 tier levels. One is this comic book and Ashcan, which we have featured. A lot of people do tend to get this one. And this is, the Ashcan is an extra 100-page book. And what that is it's in addition to the 140-page book, it's a separate book. It's got the full script from the writer, Stefan Petruka, that gave the instructions to the artist. And it's also got all the layouts that the artist did, not the actual artwork, but the rough pencil layouts that we approved before we okayed them so you can go on and do the finished artwork. So it's really educational for people who make comics to be able to see how that book came together.
Very
we have
cool.
the regular, yeah, isn't it neat? I'm really, I'll make sure I want to show more of the Ashcan around to people. Because just making the comics is, for me, is as cool as, it's just a part of the process that it's great to share with other people, because you really get to see cool pieces of stuff come together.
Yes.
And it's just like the best thing about what we do is making them. And then there's the College of the Dead graphic novel, which ships anywhere in the world. It's actually only $10 in shipping on the graphic novel by itself. And then it's $15. Actually, also only $10 to ship the Ashcan and the graphic novel internationally. And there is the complete set. And the complete set has the Ashcan, the book, and also an additional art book that I had made. And I was excited about the art book because the art book has, it's 220 pages, and it's got each of the panels of the story on one page. So all of these pages were designed to be 2 panels per page. So each panel in the art book is like 8 by 8 inches, and it's got no lettering on it. So you get to kind of see it the way we saw it when it came in. Again, it's just like, it's so cool to see the work coming from the talent. And it just keeps, you get to see more and more and more as the comics get made. And I wanted to share that with people. I don't think we'll do an art book every time we do this, or an Ashcan every time we do another College of the Dead book. But I wanted to do it at least once so people got a chance to see what I got to see. There's almost nothing that I got to see that isn't being published here, except some boring emails. But this is all the cool stuff. And so that book's $85. And you can get this on Indiegogo or go to collegeofdead.com and it redirects right here. And guys, It was great to have you guys on, but I'm sorry. I wanted to also make a point to mention Red Gaze's channel. Red Gaze is cool. His
He is.
videos are very cool, and sometimes they're extremely funny, and sometimes they're funny and poignant. But if you need a little bit of passion, wisdom, and judgment in your life, the price is right. Find Red Gaze for free.
Adam, add Red back. He's sitting back. You gotta click to add him back to the stream.
Wait, what did I do?
You didn't do it on your screen. Adam's little box. Click on it and add to stream, so he'll pop up.
Oh, Red went out.
Yes.
He fell out of the stream. Oh my God, that is very serious.
Yay! Welcome back.
Welcome back, Red Gaze.
Oh, now Mandy's on top.
Hey, don't feel bad. I left somebody the other night sitting down there because I didn't know to scroll down because we had 6. So they just sat there for like 10 minutes waiting on me to add them, and I had no clue they were back.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I've been in that box before.
Yep.
No biggie. But what is a biggie is what Red Gaze has to share with you. And you've got passion, wisdom, and judgment. And as I said earlier, the price is right. Unlike me and Mandy, who want your money to give you our love and our goods, Red Gaze offers it all for nothing. So go to his Red Gaze channel. He's got some insightful, funny, and poignant videos, and they're really well done. They're really well done. Interesting content, and I think we're going to be seeing other Comicsgate projects from Red Gaze in the future. But now is the time to go subscribe to his channel. Make sure that you're following Red Gaze. He is very cool. He's very cool. He's got interesting stuff. And I like how you just do some like little quick videos like that too. It's like 3-minute video, drunk C-3PO gone wild. That was fun because that was cool. You know, Edwin losing it, which is unfortunate. But you know, you also put some Comicsgate history together and talk about like what's been going on for people who follow comics and Comicsgate and some of the inside jokes and stuff, and you formalize them. And a few years from now, people will forget about that stuff, but they'll have your stuff as a reference. So it's good to have. It adds to the community for sure. All right, guys. So thank you a million times for being on. We're going to do this again really soon. I had a great time with you guys, and everybody should back WART the Wizard, or else you will feel disappointed that you didn't. You got 18 years, but no time left.
That ash can, by the way.
Yeah, what's new is that ash can.
Yes.
That's brand new.
Yes.
And you definitely want John Hayes' work there. You want to see what he's going to be up to next, and you want to see what he's up to now. And the ultimate adventure. Go on an ultimate adventure with Mandy. Why not? $65.
Yeah, really. Why not?
Why not, right?
It's a damn good time. And check out College of the Dead, too. The video is really good for College of the Dead. You really enjoy that, too. All right, you guys. Well, thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. I'm going to end the broadcast, and we will be back again soon.
Bye.
Cool. Thanks,
Bye,
Adam.
guys.
Peace.
Now it's going to ask you if you